Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another First Night Classic Movie Reviews. And tonight, I will be reviewing the 1971 movie, The Abominable Dr. Phibes. Running time is 1 hour and 34 minutes. And it's a comedy horror. Director is Robert Fuest. Writers James Whiton and William Goldstein. And it stars Vincent Price as Dr. Hatton Phibes, Joseph Cotten as Dr. Vesalius, Virginia North, Bill Nevia, Terry Thomas as Dr. Longstreet, John Berry as Leon Vesalius, Susan Travers as Miss Allen, David Hutchison as Dr. Head Path, Edward Burnham as Dr. Dunwoody, Eric Scott as Dr. Hargreaves, Peter Gilmore as Dr. Kittredge. Then I got that name right. Maurice Kaufman as Dr. Whitcomb, Peter Jeffrey as Inspector Trout, Derek Coffey as Crow, Norman Jones and Sergeant Tom Henry, and John Cotter as Superintendent Reverie. The plot of the Abominable Dr. Phibes is doctors are murdered in bizarre manners. Bats, bees, frogs, locusts, hail, think of the 9 plagues of Egypt. Good doctors were saved to the end of the film. And then the death of the firstborn child. But yes, the crimes are orchestrated by an organ playing demented madman from his home base, replete with a clockwork orchestra and helped by a beautiful, mute, and sinister assistant. Detectives are stumped until they find that all the young doctors are once assistants. A Dr. Vesalius, and a unsuccessful operation involved the wife of organist Dr. Phibes, killed in a car crash upon learning of his wife's death. It couldn't be the culprit. Could he be? Well, take all previous reviews. I'll all be talking about likes. Nah. Dislikes and disappointment out for the review. There's nothing I can really say about those two. no one likes. I really enjoyed this film. I loved the movie even since I was a kid when I first watching this movie. Yes, this is the type of horror movie I watched back in the 80s. And I found it was quite interesting back then. You know, I liked the story and how the story, revolved around the plagues of Egypt. And its doctor died by one of those plagues. I found it a quite interesting premises. Some can be a little more, gore than others. But this is a very mild horror movie. And nothing to be concerned about. Vincent Price, called as Dr. Anton Phibes, is so sinister in this film. I love how he first appeared in the film, playing the organ in his black attire. He barely talks in this film, which I thought quite interesting. The only way he can talk was when he could plug himself into a cell phone. Because the accident caused him to be severely burnt and left him talkless. Because he let on in the movie that he's partly a walking corpse. He's for the, back in 97-1, the makeup effects, of him was absolutely cool. He actually looked like a zombie when he removed his face to the doctor, Dr. Vesalius, the person who's responsible for his wife's death. And I love how he had his assistant, who is just as sinister as he was, Genevieve, played by Virginia North. She's also a Bond girl, in the movie on her military secret service as zombie. And she's just seen a couple other movies, in their movie career. And sadly, she died at the age of 58 in 2004. Man, she played quite a sinister assistant. She helped, Dr. Phibes to kill, all these doctors, who soon have killed his wife. And she's a lovely looking woman, Even the cops call her beautiful, while they call his wife beautiful. I mean, Vivian, for her beauty, she couldn't get, low man with her beauty. So Dr. Phibes can sneak into the, come into the room with her first time in. She gets each man by her beauty. How she evolved in, with the blood scene and the hail scene. You know, she doesn't talk at all in this movie. And her death occurs by getting hit by acid. You know, she is one of the rare sinister type of female villainess who's the assistant to the movie's main antagonist. You know, the movie's also involved, a couple cops who come into each scene of when the doctor died, and they trying to figure out what's going on until one day the Dr. Phibes lost one of his necklaces, which is the symbol of blood, the blood of Egypt. For those who might know, the movie The Exodus, the Nile River turned to blood, and this necklace was involved in that piece. And of course, the cops took to this place and discovered that beautiful woman, Vernelia, ordered these 9 necklaces, all had different symbols, and found out that the symbol is Hebrew. So they took it to a rabbi, and then the rabbi told them that this symbol, represents blood. This film involved in a lot, and I don't mind, cops involved, investigating these mysterious killings. They make a good part of the film. Of course, they eventually, tracked down Phibes, and it was too late. He disappears into whatever he's creating next. He finds Phibes with his wife in the coffin, and he's, drained himself of his blood and put some type of yellow liquid into him. So when I mentioned darkness going into the film, that's basically it. They're like, plague with darkness, and that's what happened. Like I mentioned, the kills are quite effective. The guy getting mauled by a bat. A woman, who's the nurse of the operation, of Dr. Phibes' White operation, she get eaten by locust, uttered in a green liquid made by a look of thing, some type of green veggie. Yeah. And she turned to like a skeleton. Pretty cool. Guy get a rat in his plane, he crashes the plane, he gets scratched by the bats. One of the guys has this fucking marks on his head, and his head's crushed. You see a trickle of blood come out. And then one of the other doctors, gets frozen, which Pandry's hail. And another doctor gets impaled by a flying unicorn head, who becomes the beast. And one doctor that took about, bees, who was supposed to then, to risk events, to talk about the boils, the they talk about in the film, but he's not mentioned or seen. Angkor is the first born son, was lean for years, and his father had to perform an operation to save him. I really like the music score in this film. It fits the film nicely. And for me, when it comes to think that this movie is worth returning to, hell yeah. Man, I return this movie from time to time. And the first time I watched this movie in a long time. But I basically know what the movie's about. And it's just a fun movie I can return to from time to time. And basically, if you are a Vincent Price fan and don't mind, a horror movie involved in just mild kills, this might be a movie for you. And this film is, filmed in England, so it is, the British dialogue and how they speak, which I quite like. Going over the film, I like the directing, the story, the acting, the sinister villain and his assistant. The kills are quite interesting because they're all based on of the plague of Egypt. I like how the kills look. Some get a little more gore than the other, but not overboard. I mean, you can let your kids watch this movie. And it's not that bad. It has a nice music score to go for the film. And I say for the time, the effects of the kills were quite good. Really good makeup effect. And this film has nothing to really complain about. So, I'll grade it a 10 out of 10. Yeah, I'll give it a 10 out of 10. Thank you for checking out my movie review of The Abominable Dr. Phibes from 1971. If you like what you see, give me a like. And if you're new to my channel, great. Join the family and subscribe to my channel.